Alright, game 1 of semi-final number 2 between Yerand and Gameslayer in this 1v1 tournament. I'm Terra Incognita. Alongside me, in a metaphorical sense, is Philothanic.
We have a Zoltar map. There's no other way to put it. This map is terrible.
Yep, that's what
It
Gameslayer
is a power
says
colony.
as well.
So, what do we have? We have...
Scavenger on the left.
Yes, but it is far away from anything else.
Yeah, it is. We maybe have maybe a scavenger in the middle as well. There's 3 low carbons there. There's the scavenger on the left and the expansive in the northeast as well. So
Yeah, so that,
sorry, go on.
those are probably the two only... Well, Yerand taking this spot, I think this might be the best found if he can hang on long term. Because he does have access to a little bit of everything in that spot. I mean, it's a weak spot for sure.
Yeah, straight into glass as well.
Every spot on this map is weak.
Yeah. So Yerand with the 2 glass kilns at level 1. He does seem to have the best access to silicon, so making glass might be good in the long term. It'll drive the silicon price up enough that he can make something from it. Gameslayer is first to 2 though, so that'll give him something of an advantage.
Expected.
Yeah, as you would expect, a scavenger against an expansive. But Yerand not too far behind, so he made good money from that glass, and he's in a decent position now. He's going to go straight into 2 low metal mines, and straight into 2 steel mills as well. Of course, he got the extra claim from the early found, late found rather.
Gameslayer moving into 2 low aluminum and 1 power. Deciding that he wants to get in on that power market before it becomes a market, perhaps, to entice Yerand to stay out of it.
And that's the nice thing about being a scavenger in this situation. You do have access to that carbon very easily, which means that, of course, you can just put up wind turbines basically whenever you like, and it's much less of an investment to do that. Gameslayer has claimed the medium silicon as well across the map, and I imagine that's as much as anything to deny it to Yerand. And in fact, he cancels that claim, decides he needs it for something else, and instead is going to put down a 2nd wind turbine.
That seems a little bit more reasonable, because that would be a lot of debt added on, and his wind turbine wouldn't do very much.
No.
I would like to see Gameslayer defend that wind turbine if possible. I expect Yerand to hit that hard and soon.
So a random
glass.
robbery at the stockpile has helped Yerand out quite a lot. His glass is going to be much better.
Except
now.
It's off.
Yeah,
It
why
should
is
be
it
on,
off?
but it's
Why is it
off.
off? I don't know why it's off. That doesn't make any
It's
sense. He doesn't have any money to fuel his steel
Off,
mills
and
either.
he's not getting anything in steel. He
Oh,
could sell down some of that glass, turn his glass back on, and get the money needed to buy the iron for the steel mills to
What
get that
is-
upgrade.
I almost was thinking he
there
might
he
have
goes.
like disconnected or something, because he just wasn't doing anything. But yeah, they've turned back on now. He needs to sell some of that steel so he can produce some more. It's very profitable, although it's becoming much less profitable by the second. Gameslayer switching out of his aluminum and into farms, so they'll make him a decent amount of money in the short term, but he doesn't appear to have any
Long
access to
term.
water.
Water is either kitty corner on the other side of the map
Mm.
in the southeast, or up by Yerand, which isn't any better as far as shipping goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem for him going forward, I think, in this game. He's only operating on the 1 farm at the moment, and that's a weird decision to me, because 1 farm on its own is only barely profitable at all.
That's 7.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And it's not going to last super long. Water's steadily creeping up. Unfortunately, this power colony is not really grown at all, so Gameslayer's 2 wind turbines is just killing that power. He's going to have a hard time paying off his debt.
Yeah, we're gonna have dead prices for a while. Gameslayer has gone down to 14k debt, but yeah, he's getting more debt in food than he's paying off now in power, or it's at least comparable. And Yerand being the first to 3, I think, is a big problem for Gameslayer. Straight into the water, which is really profitable.
Straight
And
into the water and picking up a silicon to
Yep.
keep those glass kilns online.
So the water by itself, really profitable to begin with. And then, of course, the food as well. Gameslayer into electronics level 2. Really? That's not great, is it? The
He
silicon
doesn't
at
really
100.
have many options. The expansive player just beat him to
Yeah.
level 3. The scavenger, that is a terrible sign. The
Yeah, it
scavenger
really
being
is.
essentially the Zerg of Offworld Trading Company. They like to rush through those upgrades quickly and get offensive.
Yeah, and the fact that he
Mhm.
stalled out, and he's just feeding money to Yerand really, with that silicon. I mean, it's only half a silicon a second, but it is still half a silicon a second. And electronics are not that great either. They're only selling at 120 right now. So Yerand has a big lead in this game, and it's going to be difficult, I think, for Gameslayer to do very much at all. He is, how far is he? He's still some way from the upgrade. He's still a good, like, 10k from the upgrade. Difficult to see where he's going to get that money from.
Yeah, just going down the list, you see the thing that would make Gameslayer the most money is water, but he has none.
Yeah, and that's
Food is
basically the issue with this
15.
found.
Oxygen, electrolysis reactors is 1.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I guess
then-
it does have to be food in the short term, or it did have to be food in the short term. But again, that just A, feeds money to Yerand, and B, Yerand's sitting on a stockpile of food as well. So, you know, there's not much he can do really. Yerand basically has an upgrade to HQ4 whenever he wants it. Yeah, I'm struggling to see a way back for Gameslayer in this game.
No, the only issue we're going to run into is Yerand. Yerand's definitely on the better claims, but his claims aren't that great either. So it might take a little while to mercy kill Gameslayer.
Yeah, I mean, but Gameslayer's just making no money, and that's a big problem. Like all of the things that like Yerand is selling down some of that silicon, so those electronics are staying barely profitable, but they are only barely profitable. Something worth noting as well is that Gameslayer has stopped selling down power in the hopes that it will climb high enough that he'll be able to make something off it in the future, which seems to be a good move.
Yerand's moving into a hacker array and will
Oh.
either keep all of Gameslayer's resources at no prices, or will just use it to power himself. He actually has 2 hacker arrays.
Oh dear. Okay, so
There
are we
is
gonna
a second
see?
one.
Are we gonna see
There's a second one.
electronic surplus? I would imagine. Oh, an extra claim. Now that's kind of a big deal for Gameslayer because he needs that to do something. Maybe he can get some water even.
At this point, he is going for a water.
Yeah. So there's the high water. Gameslayer decides he's going to do basically the same thing with that.
At this point, Gameslayer just has to take that debt from water. There desperately needs that water money. Yerand should be selling down what water he has, which he is, just trying to drive that only source of positive income for Gameslayer down.
Yeah.
Yerand is doing a food shortage and a steel shortage.
Yeah, 2 things that Gameslayer is not producing and Yerand is producing. He also has a large stockpile of food as well, which is just going to
Gameslayer
be
mentioning
making
in chat, don't do this, kids. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little bit unfortunate, this game. Like, he went into the power and didn't really make any money off it. The colony basically didn't grow. It's still only size 5. And yeah, just not
And it
able to
grew-
make enough money.
It grew into glass and another module, not offices, so that did not help Gameslayer whatsoever.
So the mutiny on the water pump for Yerand. Oh dear. Gameslayer's going to take some of that back with pirates, but yeah, that's adjacent water at $100, which is
Yerand has the
pretty
buy
good.
right now.
Oh
Gameslayer
dear. Yeah.
only has 10k, won't even be able to buy 1 tick of stock in himself.
Yeah, all over. So we are going to see Game 1 going over to Yerand very shortly indeed, as soon as he's finished playing with prices and hacking stuff, and then eventually buying into Gameslayer, which he does right
Yerand
now.
realizing he has the buy.
Yeah, he has the buy and then some.
So this game will be over shortly. Gameslayer can forget it ever happened and focus on game 2.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot. Like the game was about water really. Gameslayer did get to HQ3 before he died, but that's only very short-lived. He does get taken down by Yerand, who takes a 1-0 lead in this best of 3
Moral
series.
victories are important, Terror.
They are. That's that was a goal for this game. Get to HQ3, and he managed to do that. But yeah, the lack of water was just really painful. And I can't remember. Did life support start mainly high? I think it did, right?
I don't believe it started too high, but
Okay.
the colony expanded into habitats first, which didn't help, and then only one player was in life support and not selling it.
Yeah.
So it was going to creep up high naturally,
Yeah.
no matter what. Yeah, Yerand's confirming the only high price was glass, which is
Okay.
what I was recollecting.
And steel was half. And yeah, he went into the HQ1 glass with the expansive as well, which propelled him to a good enough start. He was slightly behind Gameslayer getting to 2, but he was well ahead getting to 3. And as soon as that happened, and as soon as he was able to get into the water,
was a game where I won't say there was one good found, because honestly there wasn't. There was one okay found, and that was about it. I don't really see any other founds as good as Yerand's okay found. Maybe.
Yeah, it was a Zoltar map. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't really found here because then you have in the southeast, because then you have no access to aluminum or iron.
You have water and silicon, but no aluminum.
Yeah.
I mean, aluminum could ship a little bit better, but then what are you founding over here as?
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing, Yerand identifying that
Nope.
shipping costs would be the big thing. So expansive was the HQ to be.